Our walk for Shell down at the Seafront Oval was very important to all women. Shelley was she was a wonderful lady, an advocate for women, and whether it rained, hailed, shined or snowed, we still would have been there because the rain wasn't important. Domestic violence is a problem, the rain wasn't. So that's why we still danced. And it's very important for our bachelor men also to come down and support us as well. So it was an honour of Shelley.
Can everyone say Callum? Callum. Wa'pa Kir'a-ba
It's the 1st of May, the month now dedicated to reminding people about the issues surrounding domestic violence. We were privileged to have been invited to the Walk the Talk Shell's Way event in Hervey Bay by the lovely Aunty Shantel, who we'd previously met on our day trip to Gari, better known as Fraser Island. Dancing, singing and a smoking ceremony were all part of the day, with even young kids keen to participate. Shantel was also very passionate to get the message out about domestic violence and how it affects everyone.
A lot of our young women today think that they are the only ones going through a lot of this stuff on their own, and still until we start to open up. That's why we have our yarning circles with our women, also with the men, and we start to open up, and then they see elders as elders have never been through any problems or anything like that. It's just all been roses. But when they start to tell their story, it connects with them.
What's a yarning circle?
A yarning circle is, okay, well, it's everyone together around in the circle. You'll have just men or just women. Everyone in that yarning circle is equal. There's no one is important than anyone else, no matter how old you are, how young you are. You have a right to be heard and listened to. You have the support. So that's why we don't sit in a square or a rectangle, because we don't have a head of the table like a king and a queen. Everyone in that circle is equal.
Do you think that domestic abuse is on the downslide now, perhaps, hopefully?
That's hard, because of all the other social and economic issues that are going on today. Drugs, alcohol, substance abuse, anxiety, peer pressure, school, all of that contributes. So I'm not, honestly, we want to close the gap. To me, it seems like we've got to work so much more harder to close that gap with domestic violence on both sides. That's with everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the colour of your skin, it happens.
It doesn't discriminate. Domestic violence doesn't discriminate, no matter who you are. So I wouldn't say it's on the downcline. I'd say it's more, there's more awareness now than it was years ago, where it wasn't spoken of.
Yeah, and especially now as May has basically been declared Domestic Violence Prevention Month, and I think that's a great thing. You know, it's just to bring out these stories. In fact, the stories you're telling now, the video we're showing, the images people have shared, just remind people, you know, what's going on.
And it's also not just domestic violence with, I'm talking about, there's domestic violence with all different diversities. And when I say that, I mean, I'm talking about transgender. I'm talking about same-sex couples, all of those groups, you know, the rainbow community. There's domestic violence.
And we don't hear about that in the First Nation groups.
You actually don't, because it's just not something that's spoken of. So when it's domestic violence, I'm talking about
Everything.
every single thing. You know, like I said, same-sex couples, all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that when we catch up with you next, we can be reporting that there's a big improvement. Don't know when there might be, but here's hoping.
Well, here's hoping. We've got to get the ball rolling and start it somewhere. Someone's got to start it. And then the young people have got to follow that up and follow it through. And we've got to stop it. We've got to stop it.
That's about our beautiful women coming together. And Shelley was a beautiful woman.
All right, these when I count it in. Callum. Wa'pa Kir'a-ba Kaya mama ranga, jago kunganyo. Kaya mama ranga, jago kunganyo.